Yo, what it do, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Will, and today we are finally getting back into it. Daredevil Born Again, episodes 3 and 4. And let me tell you what, these are some great back-to-back episodes. Make sure if you're digging the vibe, make sure if you want to be a part of our positive fandom community, whether we love, hate, or are indifferent to anything, we always talk about it respectfully here. Make sure you're clicking all the buttons below the video. Make sure you're hopping into the comment section, letting us know what you thought about this latest episode of Daredevil Born Again and all that good jazz. But with no further ado, let's get right into it. And for me, I have been enjoying the hell out of this series. For those that maybe aren't as familiar with my taste and whatnot, because I barely covered just the first season of Daredevil. The algorithm wasn't too kind to it, so I decided to just get into Born Again. But I absolutely love the Daredevil Netflix series. That was seasons 1 through 3, 2015 through 2018. So 10 years ago now is when it premiered. I remember the lead up to it, everyone being kind of trepidatious but excited by the trailers. And Charlie Cox, Drew Goddard, the creator, Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil, Matt Murdock, everyone involved completely knocked it out of the park. So this series right here, Born Again, effectively being season 4, bringing everything fully into the MCU for the first time, because there was a lot of weird behind-the-scenes drama going on with the original 3 seasons before Netflix gave Disney Marvel proper the full rights to the TV series and had a cool down period. Now we are here, and with episodes 3 leading into episodes 4, it's a great kind of part 1, part 2, because Matt Murdock has obviously, for those of you that have obviously been watching and don't want to get spoiled on shit, so you're aware of what's going on, Matt has not been Daredevil for at least a year. He has fully been going all in at a new law firm, making a lot of money, getting a new apartment, has a new girlfriend who is a therapist, who's also the therapist to freaking Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, and Vanessa right now, which is pretty crazy. Not sure exactly what's the deal there, but we'll find out that stuff, I'm sure, by the end of the season. But Daredevil's full-on lawyer mode right now, and he is representing White Tiger himself. I am forgetting his first name right now. What is his first name right now? Sorry, I'll have to put it in the edit. I can't remember. Something Ayala. I'm sorry. But White Tiger is on the stand right now because obviously he was unmasked and ended up getting into an altercation with 2 corrupt cops. One cop ended up getting pushed onto the track and got hit by the subway and got killed. So he's getting blamed for murder in the 1st or 2nd degree, and Matt has to represent him and get him off, scot-free for this thing, because obviously he didn't do that. The guy fell in there. So he has to prove that he didn't push the guy, and he has to get over this corrupt system that is trying to hold him down. Him and Matt had discussed previously that they didn't want to reveal that he was a vigilante, and then Matt does reveal that he is a vigilante and that he is the White Tiger, unbeknownst to Ayala, in front of everyone in the courtroom when he's kind of desperate and has his back against the wall after the witness they brought in completely reneged on him, didn't actually give the information that they wanted for him to give on the stand, which totally hurt their case. So Matt felt desperate at the time and pulled out his kind of his Hail Mary and revealed to the public that I think Richard Ayala might be his name, but I'll look it up to make sure. And they confirmed that he is White Tiger. And I didn't necessarily like that particular part of the episode. That felt a little bit out of character for Matt. But overall, I still really enjoyed the outcome of it and everything like that. And throughout the whole case, you were really unsure if Ayala was going to get off from the actual thing, or if he was going to get convicted for it, wrongfully accused and whatnot. And you really didn't know where it was going to go, because the case was kind of just going back and forth between the witness kind of failing out, them trying to get him over there safely and having to swerve the cops so that way they couldn't stop him from getting him there. And, you got a lot of these cops repping the Punisher logo, really misrepresenting that iconography right there. And there's a lot of things going on, and the system just does not seem to be working in the favor of good people. But in this particular case, it does. Matt actually gets Richard Ayala off of this murder case, and he's free to go home. But unfortunately, he goes to suit up as White Tiger once again after the case is resolved. And he gets murdered, man. Gets murdered by somebody, probably a corrupt cop, repping the Punisher logo, shoots him in the head when he's about to run into, he's running through an alley and everything like that. And I didn't necessarily love the execution of that scene. I kind of felt like Richard Ayala or White Tiger should have been able to combat this shooter a little bit more, or at least have more of a struggle before he got shot. I thought he would, with the amulet, have a little bit of heightened senses and whatnot, similar to Black Panther in a sense, and have a little bit more wherewithal of the guy being right there. But overall, I understand the point and kind of driving home the point of sometimes things just don't go the way you plan them. And also, the system's just corrupt and the system just doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? In the case and in the context of the show, I'm not getting into real world politics. I like to leave that shit out. Let's not get into that. But in the show, they're kind of driving home the point that no matter what Matt does, he can't really seem to get things done when he's using the law as opposed to when he's being Daredevil. And this really eats him up inside, especially in the latest episode of episode 4, when they're dealing with the repercussions of these actions and of this unfortunate incident. And Ayala's daughter is pissed and angry that her father's dead and no one's even being held accountable for it, really. You know what I'm saying? They haven't even found who did it. So that's the whole thing there. And with the corrupt cop angle of this thing, corruption's always been a very huge theme in this Daredevil series. So I love how they're bringing it back around and really testing Matt and the decisions that he's making and what he's trying to do with his life and how he's trying to go about fighting the system and fighting against corruption and fighting against Fisk and really trying to bring down what's tearing up New York City. And I love the way that they're bringing this to a head. And Matt doesn't even have a good answer really for the daughter and isn't really sure how he feels about it. And he's pretty torn up inside. And now he's kind of contemplating becoming Daredevil again. You know what I'm saying? Even to the point where, as we see from the trailer, he runs into Frank Castle. He literally seeks him out in order to kind of almost get his blessing kind of subconsciously to be Daredevil again, because Frank Castle's all in on being the Punisher. Apparently he's still active, but he's pissed off about all these weird ass cops running around using his logo and using his name and what he stands for to do what they're doing, which is fucked up, And in real life, cops are using the Punisher logo and are making gangs and groups within police departments in order to do these sort of things. So it really is drawn from inspiration from real life. So that's kind of the crazy thing about this that makes this such a layered storyline and really makes it interesting to discuss and ponder and really think about, you know what I mean? So having this back and forth philosophically between Frank Castle and Matt Murdock, to me, was the highlight of the entire episode in episode 4 here. And it was so well done. It reminded me very much of that season 2 scene when Punisher has Daredevil tied with the chains to that chimney or whatever, on top of that roof, and they're having the discussion between Frank's methods as a vigilante and Matt's methods as a Daredevil and as a vigilante in and of itself. And I love this back and forth because that's always been discussions that have been had about the character of the Punisher to begin with, you know what I mean? And there's just so many discussions to be had with someone taking the law into their own hands, whether for good purposes or for good reasons or not. A lot of people see it as wrong. So there's just such a great debate and a great discussion to be had there. And I love the way that they're able to do it with these characters and not lose that essence and lose that feel from the Netflix series, and how they would really have these discussions and these really heavy dialogue scenes in order to get into the psyche of the characters and to really explore what's going on and what the writers are really trying to convey to us, the audience. So I really enjoy and love that aspect of the show, and they've really carried it over here in Born Again so well. And you got a lot of the struggles and between Fisk and his wife Vanessa, and them kind of being wedged apart with his absence between seasons 3 and 4, with him getting in prison, getting out, and Vanessa having to kind of essentially single-handedly run the business and become the new kingpin in and of itself. So the way that they kind of feel so distant but are trying to find a way to kind of wedge that distance between them is not the most interesting storyline to me, but it is something important for Wilson Fisk's character. Vanessa and his relationship has always been important to his character and very much still is, and I think that's very important that they are bringing that over from the first 3 seasons there and really exploring those things in an interesting way. And like I mentioned with the therapist, Matt's girlfriend, I'm very curious to see if Fisk is really using her just because of her expertise, isn't aware of her and Matt's relationship, or is he using this as blackmail and as leverage to get over on Matt Murdock in the future? So it's all very interesting to me. I can't wait to see where that goes in that aspect, but I'm not really as concerned with their marriage or relationship or anything like that. But Fisk and Vanessa, that is, not Matt and the other girl. But yeah, so that's all very interesting, and you see Fisk going around kind of doing his mayor duties and all that stuff, so it'll be interesting to see when he goes full Kingpin mode and everyone truly sees him for the monster that he is. But, and like I said earlier, Matt is really contemplating becoming Daredevil again, to the point to where he even goes to his little secret hideout, looks at all his old masks, gets his baton, and starts kind of getting back into the groove and doing a few drills, and kind of practicing a little bit, kind of getting that feel and just contemplating and pondering Is this the life he has to lead in order to get things done? Was he right to give it up? Is it all because of he was being Daredevil is the reason why he lost his best friend? There's so many things he has to be questioning about himself right now, and I love that, and I can't wait to see where it's going to go in the next few episodes here. And next week, I believe we're getting episodes 5 and 6 at once, so I definitely will be covering both episodes in detail like I did these two, and then we'll be getting to episode 7 and the finale. Or no, I think there might be 9 episodes this season and 8 next. So we got 5 and 6 next week, and then we're going to have 7, 8, and 9. So I'll be covering all those episodes every single week and all the spoilery details. But y'all let me know what you thought about these last 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. Do you think they were great? Do you think they were okay? Do you think they were terrible? Or somewhere in between? I want to hear from y'all in those comments down below. We got a few cool movies coming up here in April. Most definitely, we got The Accountant 2, Sinners from Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler. And we also have Until Dawn. They're making a movie based off the PlayStation game or whatever, off the horror game series. So it's going to be really cool to be able to dive into those. And we got great stuff coming up on TV. Last of Us Season 2 and Andor Season 2. Plus, we'll be wrapping up Daredevil Born Again. So we're going to be back dropping consistent content every single week. And I got some really cool reaction and retro content coming out real soon as well. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video and for supporting the channel in any way that you can, in any way that you do. I will catch you guys again next week for the Daredevil Born Again episodes 5 and 6 review and all the cool dopeness we have here on the channel. And until then, make sure you stay safe out there. Much love and peace out.